Hello everybody, welcome back to Simulated Heaven, and we are in Xsyon. I did an update video a while ago, quite a long time ago, and I had this game as the background gameplay, and I said at the time that I have been meaning that to do a couple of videos on this game just to introduce and show you guys this game. By the way, it is raining very hard outside, so let's just pretend that this game has got epic rain sound effects, you know, like it's raining in the game and it sounds awesome. Yeah, let's pretend, let's use our imaginations there. Yeah, because unfortunately there's not a lot I can really do like that. It's like the rain is directly hitting on my aircon and it's making that noise, so yeah, let's just imagine. Anyway, this is the character. This is my main character in this game. This is a character which is not really perfect because this is the one I've used the entire time I've played the game. I have actually created another character with another account which is like a fighting character. Yeah, anyway, let's enter into the world. So while it's loading, what is this game about? This game is a Sandbox MMO game. It's an indie game. Right now it's being made by one guy all on his own. So the updates, they can be a little bit slow, but I think one of the reasons I've been waiting on this game for quite a long time is because I've been kind of waiting till I feel that the content is enough to kind of do a video on it. And I feel right now we're getting very close. Oh, welcome to Xsyon. Yay. So here we are in the world. Yeah, like, they're actually on Friday, or at the end of this week, I believe they're going to be adding a patch for cooking and for farming, which is going to be awesome. Now, I'm trying to do this video in the daytime, but yeah, I can never seem to get to like log in when it is the daytime. So this might be a bit dark, this video. I do apologize for that. Yeah, it doesn't look that bad right now, does it? I think it might be early morning, so I think we might be seeing a dawn quite soon. Hopefully, maybe, I don't know. No, actually it's like 3 in the morning, so we might be able to see the sun come up later. So yeah, this is basically a Sandbox MMO game. So essentially that means it doesn't really give you anything. All it gives you is a world. I would say the first thing about this game is you have to forget about the graphics. Like, if you're the kind of person that's like a graphics whore, you know, who has to have amazing graphics in all your games, this game might not be for you. And I don't have a lot of energy and I need to eat. Now, one of the things you might be asking is, why are you doing this video on your channel? Because this is not a simulator game. Well, it's not really a simulator game, but they do try and have quite a lot of things in the game that are quite realistic. They usually are trying to have quite realistic mechanics in the game. For example, if you look to the bottom left hand side here, I have all these bars. The first one, which is red, is a health bar. The second one is energy, and you can see that my energy is really low. That is because I haven't eaten and I haven't had anything to drink. So you can see there's a bar here with a fork and a knife. It's on 0. That is not good. I have got a glass here, that's for hydration. Again, it's on 0. That is also not good. Now you can see in my inventory I have these 3 green looking water skins. I have got water in there, so I use these as like a mobile source of water. So I'm going to drink from one of those, and you will see that my hydration will go up ever so slightly. Let's drink again. Ta-da! And as if by magic, I'm fully hydrated. Well, actually, I'm not fully hydrated. Well, I am, but what I'm trying to say is you're not supposed to get this up to 100% because then you'll have had way too much water. Kind of like that feeling when you've had like a couple of pints of water after a night out, after having loads of alcohol, and you have to drink loads of water before you go to bed. so that you wake up in the morning feeling awesome, and you kind of feel bloated with loads of water. That's the feeling that you will have if you get to 100%. So yeah, you're kind of supposed to have it around halfway-ish. Well, it's this kind of blue colour. It is telling you that it's about optimal. Okay, let's eat. Now I have quite a lot of fish on me. You can see I've got 19 fish and 15 of these other fish on me. Now, these things here, all on the left side, are all of my bags and pouches. I can open them over here, look, by using the right click. That is the large one. I've got all these other pouches I can open and close. And I usually have them open all the time just so I can see exactly what I have on me. But I'm sure there are people out there that don't really like that, but that's what I do. Yeah. So I can eat a fish. Now, hopefully by the end of the week when they when they update the game and they have the cooking in, you will then be able to make these fish into fish kebabs and other amazing cooked items, which is going to be awesome. But right now I just eat them raw, like a bit of sushi. Aha. Sushi, I like sushi. Well, obviously she does like sushi because she wants more. She says she's still hungry. So again, you kind of want it about halfway, that bar. And you will see after eating and drinking, then it will make my energy start to go up. And then if I press the B button, I'm going to rest. And then you'll see that my character's resting. And then the energy should go up quite a lot faster. Oh, I'm not wearing any shoes. I'm a poor survivalist. So, what is the story of this game? Well, this game is made in a world which is a post-apocalyptic world where there's been a big event. Something has happened in the world, and we've all been blown up by a nuclear bomb or something like that. I don't know. And we are basically the survivors who are left after that, and we are picking up the pieces. So we are basically trying to find and scavenge anything that we can, and then we're going to use that, and we're going to make a home, we're going to make weapons, tools, we're going to craft carts and everything like that. I mean, I would say that right now this is a very, very good game if you're interested in the idea of crafting, and if you're interested in the idea of building. Right now, this game, I would say, is not very good for PvP. They actually have a PvE and a PvP server. Now, I would say the combat in this game, it's okay, but it's not great. And I think when you're doing PvP, you really need a very high level of combat, which I believe this game doesn't have. However, I am not an expert on that. I'm not usually a PvP style player. I don't really, well, I'm not usually a combat style because I'm not usually very good at that kind of combat. Anyway, so I would say this game is not really great if you're a PvP kind of guy. But if you're into crafting and building, and if you're interested in basically having an open world, if you don't really want the game like to tell you what to do. In this game, you basically will start in the game with absolutely nothing. I think that it will give you a few very basic tools, and you have to kind of survive a bit like Minecraft style, by like finding some material and like make a tool, and then bloody bar, then if you have a sub in this game, so if you buy a sub, then you can actually put a totem, and that is how you can make a homestead. So yeah, I did start saying, I think about 3 or 4 months ago, roughly, it might have been a bit more, they did actually make a PvE and a PvP server. Before that, they only had one server, which was entirely full loot PvP, but there were people who weren't very happy with that, and I believe that the maker of this game, he decided that having a separate PvE server would be kind of better for the game. Yeah, so I was talking about the idea of a totem. So if I go in here, so this is my home that I've started making. I'm very, very impatient with this game. Or not impatient, but I get bored very easily when it comes to homes. I have played this game for roughly about 2.5 years-ish, and I think I must have moved into about at least 6 various homes. I have this habit of building up a home and then kind of getting bored with that area and then kind of moving into a completely different area. That's kind of my enjoyment of this game. I almost act a bit like a nomad, you know, where there's other players in this game who will basically stay in one area the whole of the game, and they're more into the building and they will build an epic thing. But I'm more into the idea of being a nomad, just kind of flitting here, flitting there, and all that. Anyway, so I've only been making this home for a couple of weeks. So basically I started off by trying to make all of the outside walls so that people can't actually get in. But I haven't really developed it a lot. As you can see over here, this is where I have my storage. So I've got some tents here. I've got the carts. Carts are a very good way of storing things, and if you have to take them quite a long way, you can obviously carry a lot more if you use a cart. Now all these items are obviously crafted by players in the game. I am not able at the moment to craft these on my own, so I actually had to buy these from other players. So there is a trade element, although I would say that right now that this game, unfortunately the population in this game has been rather low for quite a while now. I would say it maybe a year and a half, maybe a bit more than that, because of the fact when this game was first out, I wouldn't say this game was hyped or anything, but there were a lot of people who loved the idea of this game. Unfortunately, when the game was released, it had some issues with lag. It was rather buggy, and then also there were people who were PvP, and I believe there were issues with lag during combat, which made the combat hard and stuff like that. Anyway, so quite a lot of people, I would say that when the game first launched, I actually played the game like just after it launched, and there were a lot of players in the game. There was a lot of interest in the game, but because of the issues I talked about, after roughly half a year, quite a lot of the players started leaving. And like I say, for the past few years, or about a year and a half or so, there hasn't been a lot of players in the game. And I think also a lot of people weren't very happy eventually with how slow the content updates have been in the game. However, because the game has been around for like 3 odd years now, and like I said at the beginning of this video, I feel like the content they've added into the game is enough that it will actually warrant people who are interested in the idea of like free-form crafting and building, that they will maybe actually want to start checking out this game. I mean, this game does have a subscription. You pay what, $9.99 a month, and I believe that you have to buy the game originally for like $29.99, something like that. So it is a game you have to pay for, but if you're into this style of game, and this style of game is not for everybody, right? So if you're into it, I mean, I'm into this, I really like it. I must have spent hundreds of hours in this game, so for me it's completely worth it, but it's quite a unique style of game that not everyone will enjoy. So yeah, so I want to in this video try to show you my homestead and show you a couple of the actions that I will do in the game. I'm not going to make loads of videos on this game. I'm just going to do a few more videos after this trying to show various actions, various things that I do in the game. If anyone actually is interested in playing this game, there is actually a free version of the game. The free version of the game, you can't actually start a tribe by placing a totem, but what you can do is you can try and join a tribe, and then they will actually help you, and they'll help to teach you things in the game, and they will help you to give you some of the tools in the game, and that will be the only way you'll be able to do a bit of building. If you could find a tribe in the game that will let you do some kind of building, that will be how you can experience the building with a free account. basically, when you first enter into the world, you can go into the global chat where you press enter and then you put /Y and then you put spacebar. It will go into global. It looks like a purple thing. You know, the text is purple. Then you can just kind of type in, I'm new, I am looking for a tribe, and I would like to have a go at building, and I'm sure that someone will allow you, you know, will take you in. Yeah, so this is my homestead. Like I said, very early stages here. You can see that, like, items over here. Oh, look, I think the sun is coming up. Wow, now this is another reason why I love this game. Look at this, man. Even though the graphics are not the best, when the sun is coming up and stuff, this game is so epic. The actual map of the game is based on the Tahoe area in America, so Tahoe. So they basically base the map on the geographical data from that area in America. So it is actually pretty awesome in that way. Anyway, yeah, you can see that all these items here are fully made, you see, and the tribal area that I have after I placed the totem, this area, so if I go all the way over here, it will say here leaving farming guild company. That is the name of the tribe that I started, and it said they're entering. So this is basically the boundary of my area. So like everything within here, it can't be looted or broken by anyone else in this game. Even on the PvP server, that's exactly the same. It just means on the PvP server, someone can actually kill you when you go outside of the tribal area. But inside here, no one can actually loot anything in here unless you were to accidentally set one of these onto public. Everything here, like all of the bins, the carts, and even the storage items over here are all exactly the same. If you right click, you'll have a permissions thing here, and on here you can basically say the permission and the lock on this item, this storage item. So if you were to put it onto public, that will be the only way that people would be able to loot this. Now when you stop paying a sub, what will happen is the totem will start to be abandoned. I believe after like 600 and odd days, people can start to loot stuff here, and this is in-game days. And then after 810 in-game days, the totem will basically disappear, and this can be then taken over by anyone else in the world. Now, how do I actually build this stuff? So like I've started saying a couple of things. All these things are all finished, but you can see some items here, they look like a ghost, like here and like here. That means these items are not yet finished. This is actually the character that I use for architecture. So I can go onto the architecture thing. You can see I've got like a hotbar here on the bottom left hand side. For you to populate that, all you have to do is right click on the actions icon on the right side, which looks like a book, and these are all of the actions available. Then you can just drag them onto your hotbar like any other MMO. So I've got the architecture one here, which looks a bit like old style compass. Is it a compass? Yeah, that kind of thing, whatever you call that, I'm not sure, like a measuring thing for drawing architecture. Anyway, and then all of my architecture recipes will come up. Now, at the beginning of this game, you will have a skill in architecture that is very, very low, and it is kind of like this in a lot of the different skills. So I'm going to close this and open it again. My skills information is also down here on the bottom right hand side. You can see here it says skills. You right click on that, it brings up all my skills. Now all of these will start at 5, apart from I think about 4 of them you can actually choose when you are making a character, and they will start at 25. So if I find architecture, which is right at the bottom, I have an architecture skill now of 91 points. 2. So as you are building architecture items, so at the beginning when the architecture skill was very, very low, you will only have a few of the recipes in here. You can see right now I've got quite a lot of recipes for various architecture parts. When you start off, you only have a few. What you have to do is basically grind those, so build with the things that you have, and your skill will go up, and you will gradually learn new things in here automatically. It will come up and say that you were inspired to learn a new item. Or another way is you can scavenge, or you can buy from other players something called a blueprint. Now in here I have quite a lot of blueprints, or it's either called a blueprint or a recipe or a scheme. You see I have a lot of them in here. It looks like a book, so you could drag that onto your character, right click, learn, and then you will learn it. But all of these have got a various skill level, so you have to have a skill level for certain kinds of schemes or blueprints. If I learn this, I already know it. Oh, I'm a bit of a know-it-all in this game, aren't I? Ha ha ha. So it says that that one needs a skill of 35 in leathercraft, so I can't learn that. So, you know, kind of have to be careful with the levels. But that's how basically you will build up your skill, and how you will learn the various things in here. And it works like that for pretty much every skill in the game. Every skill in the game will build up the more that you use it, which is kind of cool. So how do I do architecture stuff? For example, if I wanted to randomly put a gate here, then I just need to go on here. I go start project, like so. I will build it, and then it will be like a ghost. And then you need to right click and you need to open, and everything that is needed for this is here. So it needs 40 nails, a couple of rope thingamajiggies, and quite a lot of logs. So, and also it needs a saw and a hammer. So if I was to pick up and insert all of these items into this ghost, and then if I was to click, so for example I need a hammer, so as long as I have a hammer in my inventory while this is open and I right click on it, the hammer will go into here. And the same for a saw. When all these items are in here, you can then actually build the item, right? But I am not going to build it. That was just to show you guys. Yay! And it's light now. Yay! Okay, so I want to show you some things that I will do in the game. I'm sure you're bored of looking at my homestead. Now, you might be asking, why have I got this like area out of the back? Well, this is going to be a farm, so all this area, by the end of the week when the farming stuff is out, I'm going to use this area here for farming. Yay! Okay, so let's show you some stuff that I have to do in the game. Now, of course, I have to keep my characters in the game well fed. Now, how can I do this? Well, one of the jobs I have every day in this game is finding food. Now, this is a character I use for finding food. You can find food in a variety of ways. You can go onto an area like this, and you have got a skill, a foraging skill. For some reason I don't have it on my action bar because I'm really lazy, but I'm going to bring up the actions. This one here is the foraging action. Right click on that, and I should hopefully find some stuff. It said I uncovered an alpine prickly currant. So this is something which you can right click on and eat. So look, I can eat, and it will bring up my nourishment. The things that you find in this way are they don't really add a lot to your nourishment. So you have to eat quite a lot of these items in order to really bring up the health bar that much, or the nourishment bar, I should say. When the cooking is out, I believe lots of these items will be used within the cooking stuff. So that's one way you can find food, by doing the foraging stuff. Another way, and this is quite a popular way in this game, is to eat a fish. Now, how do you find a fish? Well, you first of all have to have a fishing rod. I have it here, look. I just brought it off my hand. So the fishing rod I need to put in my right hand, and I can't have anything in the other hand. And if I'm near water, whoopsie, if I'm near water, so first of all, when I'm near water like this, I have a resources tab open. Let's close it and reopen it. If you go to the bottom right hand side, there's like a thing that looks a bit like a spade. I right click on that. This is my resources. So if I go into the water, you can see water is available as a resource. If I right click on that, I can then drink water. And while I'm in water, I can also fill up my water skins, like so. Or I can do the fishing. Now, fishing is on my hotbar, so I just need to right click it, and I can do fishing. Now, this is another thing that the more that you are fishing, the more your skill will go up, so therefore the higher quality fish you'll be able to catch, and the more often you'll catch fish. It can be a little bit slow at the beginning, but it is a very good way of finding food, and a lot of people eat fish as their main way of keeping the nourishment up. And again, when the cooking is in, you'll be able to actually make stuff out of the fish. Okay, I don't really want to waste a lot of time here, but that's how you do the fishing. Let's take the fishing rod off my hand so I don't look like an idiot. Let's put the pick in my hand, like so. So, what else do you have to do in the game? Well, for this character, every day, I will have to go and find stuff, scavenge stuff. Usually I would take a cart, but for this video I'm not going to take a cart, but usually I would use a cart, and then I can obviously store lots of the stuff that I find while scavenging. And you can see a lot of crazy stuff made by players. This thing over here, I don't know what this guy is actually doing. I have moved into here only a couple of weeks ago, but I've walked past this area many times, and I've seen this has been here for a long time, and I have no idea what this guy is actually doing. I think he isn't actually playing the game anymore, but he still has a sub, and I don't know what he's trying to achieve there, but anyway. So I'm going to head over to a scavenging area. Basically, it's like the remnants of a city in this game. And by the way, there is not a map in the game. You only get a mini-map. If you press M, you get a mini-map, see? But there's no actual full map in the game, but you can search on the internet for Xsyon map, and then you can find a map that will help you to navigate around the area. I mean, I have been in the game for a long time, so I can usually very easily find my way around, especially when I'm near the lake. Basically, the lake is like the center of the map, so if you're near the lake, it's quite a good way of orientating yourself. Anyway, this is another tribe, and it's kind of crazy when you think about that all of this stuff here is made by players. Now, this is a tribe with quite a lot of members. Actually, this is a tribe near me called Pawnee, Pawnee, and I believe this is a tribe that when they have a new player or even a free player, I believe they allow them to have their own area and do a little bit of building. So if you wanted like to do a bit of building, this would be a tribe that you could find. And it's kind of crazy when you think every single thing here is made by a player, and this has probably taken like hundreds of hours. And maybe you might be asking, why is this building floating? Well, this building is floating because in the game there is no actual way of making a multi-story building, but the players have actually found a way around this by, if you actually build a building on a flat piece of dirt, and then if you then were to take away all of the dirt, you can then start inserting the bottom part of the building underneath. As you can see, the player here has already begun this process. So this on its own, this one building on its own, has probably taken hundreds of hours of play just to get this. So there's a lot of very, very dedicated players in this game who really like the crafting and the building. And like I said, it's not really a game that a lot of people will enjoy. I'm sure that I'll get lots of comments of people saying, oh, this game is crap, blah, blah, blah. But there are people out there, you know, that are into crafting, into building, into like the Sandbox style of game. They will absolutely love this game. But I think it's quite a select few, really. Okay, so we're heading over to a scrap area, like I was beginning to say. This is basically the remnants of like a city or a town. This is where all the buildings used to be. So this is an area where you can get really good scrap. So all you have to do is you walk onto the scrap pile, and all I do is I use the scavenging function. So you see there's a thing here which looks a bit like a bolt. I right click that and I start to scavenge, and it will say that I have found stuff. So I found some stellar J feathers this time, and this is again, the more that you do this, the higher your skill will get, so therefore the higher quality stuff you'll need. When you are making a character who is good at this, you need to make sure that the character has a lot of charm, the skill, the stats of your player. You'll need to make sure your player has got charm. Yes, you can see I'm basically finding stuff by doing this. Now you can only scavenge in one area, I think once every half an hour or so. So I found some leather that time, and you see, if I was to try that again now in the same area, it would say you've already scavenged here recently. I believe that the time was roughly half an hour. So that's another thing that I will do with this character. Maybe not every day, but fairly often, especially when I start to run low on stuff, I will do this. And like I said, usually the tactic I will have is I use about 3 or 4 carts, and I will place them around this area because it's quite a big area. I will place them in like a circuit around here, and then because often the things you are picking up are very heavy, so that means every time that I get around the circuit and I arrive at one of the carts that I have placed, I can then place everything in there so that I don't have to throw anything away because it's very heavy, if you know what I mean. That's how I do scavenging. Everyone has got their own way of doing it. Anyway guys, this is just kind of an introductory video. I will be doing a few more videos after this to show a few more things that I do in the game. I will also show you my fighter character in a video. In a video. I hope you enjoyed this. And I will see you guys in the next one. Of course, if you have any specific questions about this game, if there's anything I forgot to cover, I mean, I think I did explain quite a lot of the mechanics, but of course there might be some things that I might have forgotten. Of course, if you ask a question in the comments, I'll try to get back to you. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.